I'll voice them.
You don't want no mother.
That's
Michael,
right.
Michael, you have 2 seconds.
Shanique, check the attitude at the door the next time you come in.
Thank you.
That's it. Well, this is The Conversation, guys. It's been an incredible week. Let me know if you want these guys back. I couldn't even get to your comments on social media. I do apologize. Let me know if you want them back on Friday. Meantime, thank you for a great week. Have an incredible weekend. God bless. Stay close to news at 6. It's straight ahead.
But since they're not, how can they say that I'm not true?
The views and opinions expressed on this show or program are not a reflection of the Bahamas Radio Network and, as an extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
They'll see that I'm all that you need.
Real change starts now. With the upcoming Public Procurement Act, all government contracts will soon move online. After the act passes, only registered suppliers will be able to bid on available opportunities. Don't get left out. Register your business on the e-procurement and supplier registry system. The process takes just 2.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up first at 6, the Bahamas is officially off the European Union's blacklist. Hear what the Minister of Finance has to say about it. Firefighters investigating a blaze at an abandoned building in Ochre Hill today. And the local Haitian community getting more information about the Shanty Task Force policy by the nation's chief yesterday.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC every day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. The Bahamas was officially removed from the European Union's list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes following a positive technical recommendation from the EU Code of Conduct Group, which was formally adopted by the Council of European Union Finance Ministers this morning. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, said the removal is a result of excellent coordination and cooperation by Ministers of Finance, Financial Services, and their technical teams.
The blacklisting or list that we were on did not come with any penalties. And so there was really no cause for alarm per se. However, this does cause some bit of reputational damage. And so that was our biggest fear, that we wanted to get off of this list as soon as possible to ensure that the perception that there is something to be concerned about did not set into the international community. So for us, this gives us another opportunity now to confirm to the world that we are a clean, compliant jurisdiction, open for business.
Aviation authorities are refuting reports that there was a near miss involving 2 local aircraft this week. Flight Inspectorate Director Delvin Major told ZNS News that the 2 aircraft were being monitored by air traffic control and directed as usual to adjust their positions.
Bahamas Air was traveling to Marsh Harbor, and another airline was en route from Eleuthera going to the USA, and air traffic control pointed out the conflicting aircraft to Bahamas Air, and they just reduced their climb to not create a conflict. But what the passengers see and what actually goes on in the cockpit, that's where we have the difference, because what took place is a normal occurrence. I'm a pilot, so I've been through that many times. Air traffic control point out the traffic to you. Once you make contact with the traffic, you would either turn, stop your climb, or descend to not create a conflict with the traffic. So that was not an unusual occurrence, but it was not a near hit or near miss like.
Bahamas Air also issuing a statement saying it wishes to clarify reports regarding the purported events of May 22nd. Airline officials say after taking off from LPIA en route to Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Bahamas Air Flight 137 encountered traffic on the climb out of Nassau. He says this was confirmed by both onboard systems and LPIA air traffic control. As a result, our flight crew made the necessary adjustments and continued the flight, which landed safely safely in Marsh Harbor on schedule. Managing Director Tracy Cooper says at no time were our passengers, flight crew, or our aircraft in any real danger. Bahamas Air wishes to state unequivocally that their flight crew and systems functioned as expected, which was in accordance with training and our documented procedures. Additionally, Bahamas Air thanks the traveling public for their continued support as we strive to be the airline of choice connecting the islands of the Bahamas to the world. A 46-year-old man is dead following an industrial accident at a high-rise condominium complex on West Bay Street on Thursday. Police say the victim, who was standing on a scaffolding while working on the high-rise shortly after 3 p.m. on Thursday, when it collapsed, causing the man to fall to the ground. A friend since primary school identified him as Ian. Police say paramedics were called to the scene but were unsuccessful in reviving the male, who was pronounced dead at the scene. ZNS News visited the scene at Caves Heights today, where behind the wall the scaffolding Ian fell from remained. Sean Bethel did not want to appear on camera, but recalls his last interaction with the 46-year-old he says was always a nice person.
At lunchtime, Ian came to see me. I gave him some money for some water. And after that, I didn't see him anymore until I heard he fell off the scaffold. Actually, I jumped over the wall, but the police told me I couldn't come in the area, various area, so I just left. You know, I feel bad because I brought him on this job, you know, and he brought other people to work on this job.
Investigations continue into the reported assault of a juvenile female who was walking home from school in the Big Pond area yesterday. Police say they are mapping out strategies to monitor crime in that area. Crystal Darling reports.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force South Central Division is leading the investigation into the circumstances surrounding the alleged sexual assault on a young girl Thursday afternoon in Big Pond. This is the third incident reported in recent weeks, with the other two taking place in neighboring communities. In wake of this, Superintendent Mark Barrett says what his team is doing to prevent such incidents.
Investigation is still fluid. We have officers out there who are probing the community for information. We know that this type of act is very senseless, but we realize that we do have a social crime issue here in the country, and we here at the Royal Bahamas Police Force are doing our endeavor to see how best we can circumvent these level of criminalities from occurring, particularly within our communities. We have embarked upon a number of initiatives, and we are working. Members of the public, they are calling us, they are giving us information with respect to any suspicious activities that they would see occurring, particularly in the St. Barnabas constituency, that area, between Blue Road, Market Street, Wolf Road, to Coconut Grove Avenue.
Barrett adds that they are making modern upgrades by partnering with the National Crime Watch in their new e-policing project initiative.
What you see here is a partnership with the police and members of the community, the business community, those establishments that have CCTV affixed to their establishment. And we came together, came to consensus, and we saw fit that we saw the need for putting this integrated center in place. With the CCTV initiative, the e-policing initiative, we have our eyes throughout the streets within the South Central Division. We are monitoring as young people traverse from school home or from school home, just so that they can be in a safe environment.
I'm Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
And since that report, police say that a suspect is in custody and he's being questioned in connection with that matter. Fire officials spent several hours attempting to extinguish a raging blaze at the City Lodge Meat and Convenience Store, formerly Marietta's Hotel and Restaurant, on Okra Hill on Friday. Residents telling ZNS News that the building has been abandoned for many years and is the home to vagrants and other criminal activities. Around 1 p.m., Fire Services Chief Walter Evans received a call that billows of smoke and a large blaze was seen emanating from an abandoned building known as the City Lodge Meat and Convenience Store on Okra Hill. 3 fire trucks rushed to the scene attempting to extinguish the blaze, which proved challenging. Concerned residents we spoke to off camera say they are annoyed that it's not the first time their homes were threatened by fire.
People don't actually sleep and move. They live in the building. They do everything in the building. A lady was almost raped last year in that building because it affects not only the neighbors. We have a sick lady that is blind, that cannot get out of bed, God forbid. And one time, when they lit it, last year, it was like 3 a.m.
Chief Superintendent Evans on their investigations.
We met heavy smoke and flames coming from the top section of the roof of the northern section of the facility. Additional resources were called in to assist in suppressing this fire to ensure that the fire did not spread to affect any of the nearby residents, which are located on the northern end and on the southern end of where this fire is. At this stage, the fire is in the control phase.
Evans said it took hours to fully extinguish the blaze and believes the integrity of that abandoned building is compromised.
And what we can say to you is that this building has not been powered with electricity, which is an indication that the fire may have been caused by some other means. As you can see, the facility is unsecured, and it allows persons who do not have no fixed abode to move in and out freely. And at this point, we suspect that those persons may have been responsible.
And still to come, the nation's chief addressing the Haitian community last evening during a church convention. You're watching the news leader first at 6.
Together, we laugh more, we discover more, we dream more. Together, we connect more, we cheer more. Grab life by the bundle and fuel your passion for your favorite things. Enhance your entertainment experience with Flow Evo, internet and home phone in one simple package. The hotter the bundle, the more you get. Grab life by the bundle with BTC.
This is the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is Commonwealth Bank. And no matter how, no matter where, no matter what, Commonwealth Bank is here for you. Commonwealth Bank, everything we do it for you.
Every day at KFC, our cooks begin with the freshest pieces of chicken, hand breading and seasoning before cooking to golden perfection, making chicken that's hot, fresh, and ready for you to grab and head to your favorite spot for a meal with friends and family. The secret to preparing the world's juiciest, tastiest chicken bundled with a variety of delicious sides is real cooks who love what they do. Taste the KFC difference. Fresh prepared, in-store daily. KFC Nassau, it's finger-licking good.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
Health Minister Dr. The Honorable Dwayne Sands says the 2017 Global AIDS Monitoring Report on the Bahamas doesn't tell a very good tale. The report was released today detailing the factors which he says have taken away from the gains made in HIV and AIDS and prevention.
It speaks to an ongoing challenge of persistent HIV infections among Bahamians. But most importantly, it really drills down into some of the behaviors that lead to a continued problem with HIV in the Bahamas. In particular, it speaks to the challenge of key populations being stigmatized so that they're afraid to come in and be treated. It speaks to the fact that even though some people start life-saving treatment for HIV, which is free, that as many as 50% of people stop taking it.
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Minnis clarifying the work of his government's Shantytown Task Force policy to the local Haitian community at the League of Haitian Pastors' 24th Annual International Crusade at the Church of God Auditorium on Joe Farrington Road last night. Prime Minister Minnis admitted that there has been a misunderstanding with the information disseminated.
The government set up a large task force to carefully plan for the removal of the shanty towns so that we can better assimilate the residents of these areas.
Gouvernement formé une grande communauté pour nous mettre plan en place pour nous capables plus bien vivre ensemble.
And to improve the quality of life of residents. I want to emphasize that the task force includes a number of representatives of the Haitian community.
Moi voulais dire nous que communauté a inclus moun qui dans leadership dans communauté haïtienne,
including pastors with whom we have a continuous dialogue.
Prime Minister Minnis also encouraged the League of Haitian Pastors and their members to have a full conference of faith and fellowship this week.
I know that this year's crusade will be filled with many blessings.
Et moi connais que crusade là année ça a plein avec beaucoup bénédictions.
And this will be a time of renewal.
Et là, un temps pour nous renouveler tête nous.
I thank the League of Haitian Pastors for the work you do in your communities.
Je remercie Ligue Pasteur Haïtien pour le travail que nous faisons dans la communauté.
Including your pastoral and social ministry and outreach.
The government implemented an immigration commission months after coming into office last year to ensure future transparency of the immigration process. The committee began meeting in February to review citizenship cases. Minister of Immigration, the Honorable Brent Simonet, updated the local Haitian community on the commission's work last night during the League of Haitian Pastors Crusade on Joe Farrington Road.
Meets every 2 weeks.
Donc commission ça que premier ministre a établi li chita chaque 2 semaines.
And since appointed has approved some 160 persons to be registered as citizens.
Et donc il y a n'importe 160 combien de monde qui déjà enregistré comme citoyen béhémien. Frappez-moi pour ça.
And every 2 weeks that I am in the country.
Et pendant 2 semaines que mon pays
I do a swearing-in ceremony of at least 35 people every 2 weeks to be citizens.
Stay close. Sports is up next. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight. First at 6, the news leader.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
No matter what your goals are in life, you have to start somewhere. It all begins with Leno. Leno, bridging possibilities. Call us at 396-3225 or email info@lenobahamas.com.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Pro boxing returns to the Bahamas tomorrow night with the Backyard Rumble. Sherman the Tank Williams will be in the main event, and we'll hear from him coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Now, there are a number of other bouts on the schedule as well. Charles Fisher is in the nation's second city, and he's standing by with one of the visiting fighters who will be taking on one of our own.
Well, good evening, Johnny. We are here at Pelican Bay in Grand Bahama. We are with one of the fighters on the undercard. I'll just let him introduce himself, where he's from, where he originated.
I'm from Florida, man. Haitian American race. You know, my name's Jonathan Pierre. I'm coming to show out May 26th, and man, I'm looking to put on the show for everybody, man. I can't wait.
We'll be taking on Anthony Psycho Woods, a Bahamian. How do you approach that fight, not seeing what he has done before?
Honestly, man, just go in there and do what I got to do. You know, throw my jabs, snap my jabs, and let everything do its part, man. I'm not looking to go 6 rounds, so I hope he don't think it's going 6 rounds, because that's not the game plan. But everything's said and done, man. I put God first, and I let everything else fall into place. I worked hard, trained hard, and I'm ready to go.
Now, we have a big Haitian following here in the Bahamas. They're going to come and watch you now. You don't want to disappoint them.
Oh, no. Saka Fet to all my Haitians out there, man. We ready to go. Let's get it. Ukonem. My bot next side. Lipa konem.
So there you have it, tomorrow evening, the Rumble in the backyard right here in Grand Bahama. Pierre against Anthony Psycho Woods. It's going to be exciting.
The Bahamas Bowling Federation's Nationals underway at Mario's. So far, the competition has been keen, especially on the men's side.
The first night, yours truly was in first place. Tonight, this is our second night, the top dogs, A, B, and C. David is having a very good night. Lee is having a good night. Richie Pytham is having a good night. And yours truly is holding his own. The tournament ends on the 3rd of June, Sunday, when the top 5 men and the top 5 women will bowl a 1-game roll-off against each other for the championship.
Competition at the Americas Group 3 Davis Cup tie gets underway on Monday in Costa Rica. The Bahamas will be among 9 countries taking part. They need a top 2 finish to advance to Group 2 in 2019. With Baker Newman just finishing college, Philip Major and Jody Hernquist on the circuit, and player captain Marvin Rule residing here at home. This weekend will be the first time the team comes together, but Rule doesn't see that as a problem.
The past, since Baker's been on the team, maybe 3 years now, we all come together and gel. We don't have any grudges against each other, so I know when we see each other for the first time, it's going to be like we've been there forever. If we have a good performance in the round robin, then we come out as the number 1 seed, and then we play the number 2 on the other group. So that's very important, but if that doesn't happen, I think the guys are ready. They're very experienced, and they've been playing a lot of tennis, like I said, and that playing those matches a lot will help coming down to the finals.
The Frank Pancho-Ramming National Primary School Track and Field Championships closing out today at the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. And after 34 years, the meet still has its ups and downs.
Surprisingly, the meet has grown very, very, very large because we have something like 800 to 900 athletes came in from Family Island schools. So it's really big this year. I'm disappointed because a lot of the New Providence government schools did not participate. What incentive can you use? I mean, it's an event so that primary school athletes can show what they can do in track and field. And New Providence, they're right here. And Family Islands, they sacrificed, they came in, 800 to 900 of them, and we only have about 4 or 5 New Providence government schools. We got quite a bit of private schools.
The 2018 Baratari Class C Regatta, all history now, and thankfully, weather wasn't an issue this time around.
We really couldn't complain about the wind this year.
and even the competition was great. We watched a lot of the races, and it really came down to the wire and people making great decisions under pressure, and they came through.
It's good to keep that 8-boat field, or you're going to try and get more?
No, we want to expand that field to at least 12. But we also restricted by finances. If we could increase our financial base, then we would want even 15 boats in the future.
Your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. First at 6 is back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Today is a day for fun. Today is a day for family. So why should yesterday's worries affect my today? That's why I insure my family with J.S. Johnson, because their mission is to provide us with the best insurance coverage possible. With J.S. Johnson, I know my family comes first, so I take comfort in knowing that they always have us covered, providing us with a great today and an even better tomorrow.
J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are,
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
there's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
Welcome, madam, to the Royal Blue Tavern. My name is Leslie, and I will be taking exceptional care of you. Service has been a part of my life for a very long time. I get a sense of satisfaction knowing that my guests came, experienced Bahamian cuisine, fine service, just the shared joy that they get from my service is enough satisfaction for me.
James Aubrey. Now that Bahamas residents can fly or cruise free to the family islands, what are your summer vacation plans?
I'm going to Abaco.
And there is no better time than now with the 2 Fly or Cruise Free promotion, where all residents of the Bahamas can fly or cruise free to the family islands from Nassau. Refresh, reconnect, and unwind in the family islands. For details, go to bahamasresidents.com and fly or cruise free to the family islands today.
In Caribbean news this Friday, the opposition Barbados Labour Party, led by Mia Mottley, won all of the 30 seats at stake in Thursday's general election in Barbados as she swept aside incumbent Prime Minister Frundell Stewart and the governing Democratic Labour Party in an unprecedented clean sweep. In other Caribbean news, nearly 2 months after a judgment barring the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago from investigating Trinidad and Tobago Chief Justice Ivor Archie for alleged misconduct with the possibility of finding further evidence of corruption, with the LAT won an appeal on Tuesday in that matter. The Cayman Islands government, with the support of the opposition, is entering into dialogue with the United Kingdom to change parts of the constitution relating to territory's relationship with Britain. Premier Alden McLaughlin said he had already spoken with British Prime Minister Theresa May about clarifying and amending parts of the constitution to prevent Britain imposing its will and legislating on Cayman Islands domestic issues in the future.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, with 7 days remaining to the start of the official hurricane season, the tropics is already heating up. This afternoon, Tropical Storm Alberto formed in the northwestern Caribbean Sea near the Yucatan Peninsula. It is packing winds of about 40 miles per hour, just meandering in the area, but all computer models suggest that it will move towards the north. But what I want to point out to you is even though this system is well to the south and west of us, a broad cloud mass associated with it will generate pockets of showers and thunderstorms beginning tomorrow, and that will continue right into Monday, occasionally over the northwest and central Bahamas as those feeder bands work their way towards the north. And this is what the computer models are projecting, moving somewhat towards the north-northeast initially, then turning more northward, keeping well to the west of the Bahamas, so no problems there in terms of any wind impact, but certainly those showers associated with the outer rain bands could affect parts of the northwest and central Bahamas through the weekend. Outside of our studios, we have partly cloudy skies, temperature 81 degrees, your relative humidity at 69%. The winds are out of the east-southeast at 14 miles per hour, and your barometric pressure 1,015.3 millibars. That is 29.97 inches, and it is steady. That's going to do it for your first look at weather 6. Stay tuned, more weather is still to come.
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that's news in the Bahamas tonight, first at 6. But don't you move. News from the north is up next.
The Minister of Environment. CIBC First Caribbean Bank back at its main location. And the Falcons Boys Club preparing to take a big step.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll-Farmington. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news this evening, the Minister of the Environment, the Honorable Ramal Ferreira, on Grand Bahama last evening for a town meeting with the Grand Bahama Environmental Association and residents living near the industrial park in the Southern District. Now, it was an open discussion with the residents who have been complaining of environmental concerns for many years. Our Megan Shepard was there. President of the Environmental Association, Bertram Pinder, reiterating the cries of residents that their ultimate goal is to be relocated far away from the industrial sector. He says that residents are looking forward to working with the minister and the government, and they are willing to utilize all possible avenues for results.
We are prepared to resume our planned demonstrations, our press conferences, radio talk shows.
Executive member of the Grand Bahama Environmental Association, Shuffle Hepburn, says that the association has already sent 5 sets of correspondence to the current government regarding their concerns. He claims that decades worth of evidence has been documented and the residents are ready for action.
This report, done by Nico Grant's government and the committee that he spearheaded, which went door to door to all of you. Yes. I see your name in here, where you said, in answer to the question, do I want to be relocated? Hell yes. Yes, yes, yes.
One resident posing the question of concrete legislation being put in place to protect residents in the future.
I want to know what you're going to put in place that would be at the change of any government that they would have to honor, that we can move ahead with our environmental issues.
From the time I hit the ministry, we've been working towards an Environmental Protection Act. This is the signature piece of environmental legislation that we want to have. In the interim, there's the Environmental Health Services Act, 1987, and there's also something called the Common Law, which is based on nuisance, negligence, and Rylance-Fletcher. And in all of those situations, the person that's making the assertion, based on the Latin maxim, he who asserts must prove, the obligation is on the person that is making the assertion to actually prove that whatever that they have experienced, and these are personal injury matters, the crux of any assignment of liability lies in causation.
Another resident concerned about whether or not the government is prepared to relocate residents as well as take on their medical bills.
Do you all have anything in place for even when we are moved out of these areas that would benefit us or to take care of us and our children for the rest of our life, medical-wise?
What we're talking about here is that we have situations where people undoubtedly have experienced things that have caused them to experience great anxiety and sufferation that they have attributed to the proximity in which they live to these operations. But none of it has been tested in the court of law. Everyone who's put up their hand here, I can bet you none of you have ever litigated any of this. You have no judgments, you have no writs, you have no court orders.
Ambassador His Excellency Maurice Moore has been in the Southern District for some 78 years. He says during his years in government, he too made suggestions to solve this issue, going so far as identifying a location in the Freeport area for those who wish to relocate.
The government, Pharmacam, Borco, the power company, and the Port Authority needs to sit down seriously and figure out the best way they can move the people out of this settlement.
Emotions ran high as various residents recounted their negative health conditions that they claim are a result of living in the Southern District. They are now calling for an audience with the Prime Minister because they say nothing was accomplished in the town meeting. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
After operating from a makeshift facility for more than a week, CIBC First Caribbean Bank is now back in business at its Mall Drive location. The bank was forced to close its doors abruptly for remedial repairs. Its reopening today was good news for the CIBC customers. Natalia Hall has more on this story.
Customers braved the rain from as early as 9 a.m. to secure a spot inside the Mall Drive branch. The line stretched from the foyer of the building to the outside of the First Commercial Center. Customers waited anxiously to get to a teller, and the bank usually opens at 9:30, but at 9:36 the bank's security officer peeped through the door and advised customers that they would have to wait an additional 5 minutes. At 9:41, CIBC officially opened their doors, and there was a scramble to get inside, causing some customers to call for order, complaining that others were trying to jump the line.
Great to know that the bank is, especially today with violent raining, feel mighty good.
This is excellent. I call it, a good treat.
Now, some customers say they still do not agree with the bank's decision to close their doors so abruptly.
It's a big inconvenience. I didn't know anything about it until I came here and saw the posters.
Absolutely appalling customer service. Why they did not notify all of their customers by email. Dear valued customer, our bank, due to reservations, will be closed for the next 2 weeks. Sorry for any inconvenience. We've relocated at so-and-so, so-and-so. That would have been good banking service.
Now, while those customers feel as if the bank did not give proper warning to customers, others say they fully understand why the bank had to make that decision.
You have to do what you have to do. If they had a situation here and I thought they made the best of it over there, I can't complain.
It ain't a big issue to me, but I think they did a quick job. It was diligent, and these things happen.
If they have renovation to be done, then it's got to be done.
Very inconvenient, but I think what they had to deal with was essential.
But customer Roger Roll says he believes there's a need for 2 branches on the island.
And if something like this happens again, then they can always resort to crowding on one branch for a temporary time.
As the first set of customers to be served walked out of the bank, they were given a light breakfast courtesy of CIBC.
Finally got to the teller. It was great.
It was great, and they served me real fast. It was a pleasure doing business with them.
The service was excellent. They're back to normal. Everything is running smoothly. I was in and out of the business section in about 15 minutes, and so I'm pleased they're back on track.
The bank was forced to move to the makeshift center at the Priform building on West Atlantic Drive for just over a week. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Switching gears now, in May of last year, the Progressive Liberal Party administration signed a heads of agreement with Carnival Cruise Lines for a multi-million-dollar cruise port in East Grand Bahama. It was viewed as an opportunity to build the economy of the East. In this report, the Deputy Prime Minister gives an update on the project. Natalia Hall has this story.
The new cruise port is set to be built on the North Shore west of Statoil. The $200 million project is expected to create many jobs for Grand Bahamians. But when the Deputy Prime Minister Peter Turnquist was asked for an update on the project, he gave this response.
I'm not prepared to say much about that at this point, but certainly we're still looking forward to some participation from Carnival, and we'll see how that resolves itself.
The DPM says there's a concern about the effect the cruise port can have on the surrounding communities.
One of the issues has been, how do we ensure that Bahamians who would ordinarily benefit from the business being generated out of the harbor are not disadvantaged. So we are working and to make sure that any opportunities that exist do inure to the benefit of the Bahamian people, and to ensure that there is as much inclusion as possible in entrepreneurial opportunities and career opportunities as possible. We believe that the discussion so far has been positive in that regard.
He says the project would solidify the cruise line's commitment to the island.
We expect that they'll bring more ships to the island, which gives us, again, more opportunity to engage in entrepreneurial opportunities, to take advantage of this additional passengers on the island.
Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Celebrating the first biannual National Maritime Week earlier this month. In recognition of this, leaders and members of the Bahamas Maritime Cadet Corporation paid a courtesy call on the Minister of State for Grand Bahama, sharing some of the accomplishments of the Grand Bahama Division. Megan Shepherd was there.
Applauding the leaders of the Bahamas Maritime Cadet Corp for their commitment to developing young people in the maritime industry, noting that various companies on Grand Bahama and the fact that the island has one of the largest deepwater harbors in the region. He says that Grand Bahama is primed to take advantage of this industry.
I just want to encourage them to stay focused. This is a very, very important industry, not just for the Bahamas, but particularly for Grand Bahama. There are many fruits that can come to bear as a result of the maritime industry, and so it is a very good industry that they are getting involved in.
Director Clayton Curtis says that the program is open to students in grades 10 through 12 and offers exposure and training in various aspects of the industry.
We've had some degree of success in the past in that persons who have completed our program have gone on to tertiary level institutions, both the technical and the academic aspects, and are now employed in the industry as marine pilots, ships agents, tugboat operators, and similar areas.
Isaiah McBride recently graduated from the program and went on to attend Holland College. He says the program provided him with an excellent foundation to excel.
At the end of my course, I became the first student to achieve a 90. No one has ever gotten above an 80. So to achieve a 90 and being one of the first males in my family to go off to college and do something like that, it was a great experience for me. And right now I'm just still awaiting to be assigned on a vessel.
Jeremy Russell and Rhett Storr are completing the program this year and say they too have gained knowledge and a passion.
I learned a lot during that time, which some of them include first aid, firefighting, how to take care of a ship, and how to stay safe out on the sea.
It's a feel for you because this is actually meant for you. It's not something that I need, it's something that I want. And I feel like since the opportunity is there, I'm going to grab it.
Megan Shepherd, ZNS Network News.
In news from the crime beat, 22-year-old Malik Lang of Guilford Crest, Mayfield Park, and Arsenio McKinney, 28 of Caliban Drive, were both arraigned before Magistrate Subu Swain in New Providence today on charges of possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply, taking preparatory steps to export dangerous drugs, and conspiracy to export dangerous drugs with the intent to supply. The two men and a female were arrested at the Grand Bahama International Airport on Tuesday afternoon after one of the men presented himself at U.S. Customs to board a flight to the U.S. with some 7.5 pounds of suspected cocaine in a carry-on bag. Both men pleaded not guilty and were remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until September 18th. Charges were not brought against the female. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues in just a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
Rain or shine, there's one place that you can always depend on for emergency hurricane supplies or everyday items. Whether it's Ace Hardware, Housewares and Paint, or furniture and accessories from Rooms to Go, or Radio Shack Electronics. The one place that carries Craftsman tools, tablets, routers, computer networking supplies, generators, and so much more is right around the corner on Queens Highway. That place is Dolly Madison Home Center. Rain or shine. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Come on down now.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
More Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979. Covering the Northern Bahamas? You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Falcons Boys Club will soon have a home of their own. President Dan Roll says thanks to the Grand Bahama Port Authority, the Boys Club that has mentored hundreds of young men on Grand Bahama now have their own property and will soon construct a new center named the Champs Community Center with the assistance of Champs Ministry.
This is a labor of love. We are going to need your financial support as we are in need of $250,000 to develop this community center and basketball facility where we are going to be able to mentor young boys. This is a tremendous opportunity for us. And over the 21 years that we have been mentoring young boys, we have seen tremendous success. And now with our own property, something that we can develop and be able to do even more in our community. Again, we are so thankful to the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ms. Thompson, Mr. Pratt, Mr. Ian Roll, Ms. Sarah St. George, and all the individuals who have worked with them, Mr. McIntosh, and the folks over in the planning department of the Grand Bahama Port Authority who have helped us to be able to get to this point today.
Organizers of the Falcons Boys Club believe that this new center will be a new way to reach out to the youth.
We're about getting ready now to have groundbreaking where the development and the construction of this center is concerned. The center will just continue to help us and in a very more effective and powerful way to reach the young men of Grand Bahama in ways which we may have struggled to reach them before. We're looking for bigger and better things as far as the Falcons Boys Club is concerned as a result of this new center that we'll be having. And we're just asking for everyone to just continue to support the Falcons Boys Club, come aboard. This is voluntary organization, and we seek your assistance as we just continue to just mentor and put back into the lives of young men in Grand Bahama.
Now, that groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. at the Falcons Boys Club property, which will be situated directly across from the Rotary Club's water station. Well, 57 Defense Force Rangers recruits graduating from the training program here on Grand Bahama. The passing out ceremony taking place at the C.A. Smith Complex on the Mall Drive. Acting Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of National Security, Eugene Poitier, speaking on behalf of the Minister of National Security, and he highlighted some of the achievements of the Rangers program on Grand Bahama.
Rangers training curriculum therefore prepares and exposes Rangers for employment opportunities in the Defense Force, on the commercial maritime sector, as well as entry-level positions in the public and private sectors, thereby providing them with basic training and exposure for accelerated growth and development. I am told that the Grand Bahama District boasts of being the only district having certified Ranger Cadet divers, with the number of cadets trained to date being 12. Establishing partnerships with the Ranger program is ongoing here in Grand Bahama with the Let's Keep the Grand Bahama Clean Committee and the Ministry of Social Services, Ministry of Tourism, and the Grand Bahama Port Authority to ensure that cadets here on the island engage in activities that will help them to become productive citizens.
Poitier also admonishing the aspiring cadets to remember who they are and all that they have learned as Rangers.
I entreat you to uphold the tenets of the Rangers motto, which is discipline, dedication, and determination. So do not be afraid to stand out because of your high standards of discipline. Be bold in your dedication to family, church, and school. And finally, remain determined in your heart that you will always strive for excellence in all your endeavors despite the challenges you might face. And it's all about choice theory and, not following the crowd.
And now it is time to ask the doctor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Michelle from Freeport asked, my younger sister was recently diagnosed with lupus. What is lupus? Thank you for your timely question, Michelle. May is recognized as Lupus Awareness Month, so I will dedicate several segments to discuss this very important topic. Lupus is an autoimmune disease, which means it's a disease where the body attacks itself. It usually affects Blacks, Native American, Indians, or persons of Asian descent 2 to 3 times more than whites. 90% of persons with lupus are usually women, and the disease usually affects persons between the ages of 15 to 45. However, it can affect older persons. There is no single cause for developing lupus. Researchers suggest that a combination of several factors can cause or trigger lupus. These include smoking, having a family history, hormonal factors such as high estrogen levels during pregnancy, environmental factors such as infections, extreme stress or excessive sunlight exposure, or immune system factors. So, if you or someone you know may have lupus or at increased risk for lupus, please see a doctor for diagnosis and advice. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. A check on sports is up next.
The flu can be serious, causing hospitalization and sometimes death. One of the best ways to prevent acquiring the flu is to get your annual flu shot. Flu shots are available free of charge at all community clinics. The following high-risk persons are encouraged to get their annual flu shots: children 6 months and older, pregnant women, adults over the age of 50, persons with asthma, diabetes, hypertension, or a weakened immune system resulting from cancer and/or HIV, persons in nursing homes, and healthcare providers. Additional information regarding the flu shot can be provided by your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Everybody, are you on TV? Look, are you on TV? Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, do you see me? Are you on television? I gotta tell my girlfriend I'm on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS.
Quick, are you on television? I don't have a TV in here.
We have Wi-Fi, though.
We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone.
You just have to download the app. All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch
straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Miss, I just start now. I still gotta pay.
Topping sports, Grand Bahama's very own Franco Miller Jr. returned home from school in Canada for college signing day at his alma mater, Tabernacle, and he chose Ole Miss. Kimberly Mullings spoke with the head basketball coach of the University of Mississippi.
Thursday, May 10th, 2018 is a day Franco Miller Jr. committed before family and friends his intent to attend the University of Mississippi in Oxford. With 4 other offers on the table for Miller from top schools across the U.S., head coach of the Ole Miss men's basketball team, Kermit Davis, says the staff is excited they were selected.
It's a great day for our program. You know, I've just been the coach for now like 5 weeks. And so for Franco to be coming in on the front end with our staff, he's one of 3 guys in our first recruiting class. And so we think he's going to do unbelievable things for Ole Miss. And I know a lot of people back in Oxford were thrilled to death to hear the announcement today.
Coach Davis says Miller will be a great addition to the team.
We need really good, impactful perimeter players. He can play all positions. You can put the ball in his hands. He can play point guard. He can score off the ball. So he'll be able to play multiple positions, and we really think he'll impact our team quite a bit as a freshman.
He also noted that because Miller's support team is like no other, he'll fit right in at Ole Miss. Grand Bahamian coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen is the new Ole Miss women's head basketball coach. Coach Davis says Miller will be right at home and in good hands with Coach Yo there.
She's got the people in Oxford excited. She's got unbelievable energy, as you guys know. She's off on a great start in recruiting, forming her staff, and Franco can tell you, we've got this unbelievable practice facility, and right to the right is the women's section of it, and then right to the left is obviously our section. So this guy will be seeing Coach Yo every single day he walks into the Tui Basketball Center.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Total Sports.
Well, the 5th annual January Calmer Preschool Games was held recently at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. It's an opportunity to prepare preschool students for sporting activities. This year, 5 schools participated, and Italia Hall was there.
The preschool sports day was filled with fun. Tabernacle, Sunland, Freeport Gospel, Central Preschool, and Hampton Academy all participated. The little ones took part in activities like tug-of-war, ball races, and the leg tie race. Some of the kids struggled, but were determined to come first. Shirley Charlton of Freeport Gospel says this is something that the kids look forward to.
As little as they are, they can show their muscles, their strength, to see how much they can do. You know, they call themselves cat boy and cat girls, so they're going to go with blazing speed today.
Administrative assistant of Central Preschool, Ashanta Dean, says it's always good for the students to interact with others.
Most of the time they're just in between those 4 doors, not mixing with other kids. So I think it's a great experience for us to compete, and get them ready for the primary school.
Physical education teacher at Sunland Baptist Academy, Marco Cooper, says this is a big day for the group.
I feel like a lot of time they're left out. So just to have this out here today, I think it's a big deal for them. And as you can see, they're really excited.
Founder of the event, January Calmer, says the parents always look forward to seeing their kids perform.
The parental support is great. As you can see, there's a lot of parents out here walking with their kids, even helping out, to help things run smoothly. So we appreciate that.
Italia Hall, ZNS Total Sports.
And that's a check on sports.
Makeup by Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
When you need a warm, filling meal, head to KFC for a hot, juicy, flaky chicken pot pie. Individual sized, freshly baked, chunky chicken pot pie loaded with tender pieces of delicious KFC chicken, green peas, hearty carrots, potatoes, and a thick and savory home-style sauce. Covered with a golden crust. Chicken pot pie. Available at all KFC restaurants in Freeport.
I went outside. It was a hot, bright, sunny day, but it looked smoky. But I said, it looks smoky, but I can't smell any smoke.
Much of the doctors I went before I came to Dr. Ash, much of the doctors told me that they don't see how I'm still seeing. So I knew it was a miracle from God.
I never knew blindness come or glaucoma came at a young age, but luckily, we did the exam and it was detected, and I've been obedient ever since.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshina Rolf-Arkeson. Thank you so much for tuning in.
In the Bahamas tonight, the National Report. The Bahamas removed from an EU blacklist. Hear the Deputy Prime Minister on the protocols to avoid another black eye for financial services. Binding together for immigration harmony. The Prime Minister appeals to Haitian religious leaders. And UB's class of 2018, the largest on record. Why another statistic is raising eyebrows. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The Bahamas clears another European Union sanction. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Topping the news tonight, the Bahamas was officially removed from the European Union's list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes following a positive technical recommendation from the EU Code of Conduct Group, which was formally adopted by the Council of European Union Finance Ministers this morning. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, said the removal is the result of coordination and cooperation among ministers and their technical teams in the Ministries of Finance and Financial Services.
The blacklisting or list that we were on did not come with any penalties, and so there was really no cause for alarm per se. However, this does cause some bit of reputational damage. And so that was our biggest fear, that we wanted to get off of this list as soon as possible to ensure that the perception that there is something to be concerned about did not set into the international community. So for us, this gives us another opportunity now to confirm to the world that we are a clean, compliant jurisdiction, open for business.
Asked what's next for the Bahamas as the goalposts by the OECD seem to be continually moving, the Deputy Prime Minister said the Bahamas must continue to adapt.
The next step for us is to address the issue of economic substance and ring fencing, which is basically a requirement from the EU that entities that are operating in the Bahamas or jurisdictions like ours have an actual physical presence here. that they're not just incorporated into Bahamas for tax avoidance or tax reduction purposes. And so we are now going to shift our focus to this to ensure that we meet the economic substance requirements. And the thing about that is that it also presents us an opportunity, because obviously we believe that we have a very favorable jurisdiction. We have a tremendous value proposition with respect to our geographic position, as well as the industry professionals that we have. We're working on our ease of doing business and the cost of doing business to bring it down so that we remain competitive.
The Deputy Prime Minister also addressed members of the Institute of Internal Auditors, Bahamas chapter. It was the closing session of their week of discussions on issues including fraud, ethics, internal controls, and standards. Minister Turnquest told the auditors that the Ministry of Finance plans to give more prominence to its internal audit team to ensure that they're abiding by the appropriate internal protocols. He referenced the Fiscal Responsibility Bill 2018 and invited their feedback and highlighted their role as the first line of defense to detect wrongdoing and corruption.
Internal audits in the Ministry of Finance will not be hidden or buried or sit on a shelf collecting dust. The findings of our internal audit will be acted upon, and the agencies who are the subject of audits will have to respond to audit findings and address any deficiencies. Already, we have one significant example of an internal audit triggering a formal investigation, and another example of an audit that demanded a secondary internal management review.
Regarding the accounting profession, the Minister of Finance announced that his ministry will recruit 30 accountants, 15 of them to be committed to the value-added tax system. Already, 10 junior accountants have been hired at the Treasury Department, and a few senior professionals will be hired to assist. The Deputy Prime Minister said reform at the Treasury is underway in order to adopt the global standard for accounting, and in 2019, another 15 accountants will be hired. Minister Turnquest also discussed the paradigm shift regarding VAT.
Since the introduction of value-added tax by the former administration, the government has outsourced its VAT auditing to an international team of VAT auditors. We fly them in quarterly at great expense and stay for several months at a time to conduct VAT checks on VAT registrants. For the first time, we have implemented a strategic plan for the government to transfer those responsibilities to Bahamian professionals. Over the next few years, we will see a transition to a full team of Bahamian professionals.
The government is looking to ensure that the right information about the work of the Shantytown Task Force is disseminated. Last night, the local Haitian community attending the 24th annual crusade of the League of Haitian Pastors heard from the Prime Minister about his plan to execute the most seamless transition out of shantytowns.
Acknowledging the difficulties that Haitian nationals face when conducting business at the Department of Immigration, Minister of Immigration, the Honorable Brent Semenet, made this pledge to the League of Haitian Pastors attending the organization's annual crusade at the Church of God Auditorium Thursday night.
For each and every one of their delegates or their members who are waiting for some response from the Department of Immigration, give their names, telephone numbers, and email addresses to their pastor. Their pastors will, I'm asking them, pass that on to the president.
Et donc, m'a demandé, et pasteur va passer avec président Ligue Pasteur.
And he will pass them on to me.
Prime Minister Dr. The Honorable Hubert Minnis declared in his address that Haiti and the Bahamas share geography, history, and family ties that should be celebrated. The Prime Minister received applause from the Haitian community as he delivered a message from Haitian President His Excellency Jovenel Moïse, as well as clarifying the work of the government's Shantytown Task Force that includes Haitian pastors, noting that the government has been careful to address this issue in a comprehensive and compassionate manner.
Our aim is to improve the lives of all of those affected
by what we are doing.
Ça nous voulons faire, nous voulons augmenter la qualité de la vie des gens qui sont affectés.
As we seek to build a better Bahamas, let us join hands and hearts in the spirit of solidarity.
Là nous essayons de bâtir un Bahamas qui est meilleur. On nous met main ensemble, on nous met cœur ensemble pour nous travailler dans l'esprit de solidarité.
But we must always remain a country of law and order.
Prime Minister Minnis also implored the members of the League of Haitian Pastors to continue to seek God's grace and guidance during their conference this week.
So let this be a time to express your love of God and your love of neighbor.
So on prend temps ça pour nous féliciter amour nous gain pour bon Dieu et amour nous gain pour voisinage nous.
Which we are instructed should be the same love we have for ourselves.
Senior pastor of Bethel Baptist Church, Reverend Timothy Stewart, delivered the sermon When God Speaks, noting that God sees no nationality when he speaks. Altaviz Mannings, ZNS Network News.
The government implemented an immigration commission months after coming into office last year to ensure transparency in the immigration process. The committee began meeting in February to review citizenship cases. Minister of Immigration, the Honorable Brent Simonet, gave this update.
This commission meets every 2 weeks.
Donc commission ça que Premier ministre a établi li chita chaque 2 semaines.
And since appointed has approved some 160 persons to be registered as citizens.
Et donc il y a n'importe 160 combien de monde qui déjà enregistré comme citoyen béhémien. Frappez-moi pour ça.
And every 2 weeks that I am in the country,
et pendant deux semaines que mon pays a,
I do a swearing-in ceremony of at least 35 people every 2 weeks to be citizens.
In other news tonight, aviation authorities are refuting reports that there was a near miss involving 2 local aircraft this week. Flight Inspectorate Director Dalvin Major told ZNS News that the 2 aircraft were being monitored by air traffic control as usual and were directed to adjust their positions.
Bahamas Air was traveling to Marsh Harbor and another airline was en route from Eleuthera going to the USA, and air traffic control pointed out the conflicting aircraft to Bahamas Air, and they just reduced their climb to not create a conflict. But what the passengers see and what actually goes on in the cockpit, that's where we have the difference, because what took place is a normal occurrence. I'm a pilot, so I've been through that many times. Air traffic control point out the traffic to you. Once you make contact with the traffic, you would either turn, stop your climb, or descend to not create a conflict with the traffic. So that was not an unusual occurrence, but it was not a near hit or a near miss.
Well, still ahead tonight, fire ripped through an abandoned hotel. And a record achieved by the University of the Bahamas class of 2018. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, your news leader.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell and Let It, designed for extra miles.
Want to pay less? Or want to save more? Do both. Just bundle your bills into one low-rate loan with Commonwealth Bank. With a consolidation loan at Commonwealth Bank, you'll enjoy one easy monthly payment, plus the chance to win $5,000. So move your loans from other banks to Commonwealth Bank and get ready to pay less and save more.
Every day you wake up with the world in the palm of your hand. Making connections and creating memories and sharing them with the people you care about. Every day, the world is at your fingertips, and you can experience every blockbuster movie in stunning HD and top 100 Billboard music hit with the touch of a button. Every day, your family and friends are important to you, and staying in touch no matter where you are in the Bahamas or the world is your #1 priority. And that's why, every day for over 100 years, BTC has been there to ensure that every Bahamian has the best connection to the world. We cover every island, rock, and key, regardless of the cost. This is BTC Country.
Every day at KFC, our cooks begin with the freshest pieces of chicken, hand breading and seasoning before cooking to golden perfection, making chicken that's hot, fresh, and ready for you to grab and head to your favorite spot for a meal with friends and family. The secret to preparing the world's juiciest, tastiest chicken, bundled with a variety of delicious sides, is real cooks who love what they do. Taste the KFC difference. Fresh prepared, in-store daily. KFC Nassau, it's finger-licking good.
Let's celebrate our islands. Cheers to the new world. The Hopetown Lighthouse and Bahama Parrot. Coral Gardens of Acklins and Crooked Island. Let's celebrate Andros. Let's celebrate the Grand Bahama Shipyard. Sport fishing in Bimini. The sweet sounds of Rake and Scrape. Eleuthera Sweet Pineapple. Our world-famous swimming pigs. Let's celebrate our national bird. Let's celebrate Long Island. Our sea turtles in Mayaguana. John Canoe. Let's celebrate Ragged Island. Click, the beer of the Bahamas, celebrating 30 years.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Investigations continue tonight into the assault of a juvenile female who was walking home from school in the Big Pond area on Thursday. Police say they're boosting strategies to monitor crime in the area. Our Crystal Darling has the story.
Bahamas Police Force South Central Division is leading the investigation into the circumstances surrounding the alleged sexual assault on a young girl Thursday afternoon in Big Pond. This is the third incident reported in recent weeks, with the other two taking place in neighboring communities. In wake of this, Superintendent Mark Barrett says what his team is doing to prevent such incidents.
Investigation is still fluid. We have officers out there who are probing the community for information. We know that this type of act is very senseless, but we realize that we do have a social crime issue here in the country, and we here at the Royal Bahamas Police Force are doing our endeavor to see how best we can circumvent these level of criminalities from occurring, particularly within our communities. We have embarked upon a number of initiatives, and we are working. Members of the public, they are calling us, they are giving us information with respect to any suspicious activities that they would see occurring, particularly in the St. Barnabas constituency, that area, between Blue Road, Market Street, Wolf Road, to Coconut Grove Avenue.
Barrett adds that they are making modern upgrades by partnering with the National Crime Watch in their new e-policing project initiative.
What you see here is a partnership with the police and members of the community, the business community, those establishments that have CCTV affixed to their establishment. And we came together, came to consensus, and we saw fit that we saw the need for putting this integrated center in place. We have our eyes throughout the streets within the South Central Division. We are monitoring as young people traverse from school home or from school home, just so that they can be in a safe environment.
I'm Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
And since that report was filed, police say a juvenile male has been taken into custody in connection with that matter. In other news tonight, a teenager charged with murder in the magistrate's court today. The arraignment was in connection with the February death of Keno Strawn. DeAndre Williamson was in court.
19-year-old Derby Road Yellow Elder resident Javon Holbert, wearing the black shirt, was charged with murder and armed robbery in the magistrate's court. Holbert is accused of the February 7 death of Keno Strawn. Police say shortly before 10 p.m. they received a report of gunshots in the area of Munnings Drive, Southwest Ridge. Officers were called to the scene and discovered Strawn lying in front of a residence with injuries to the body. Strawn was transported to hospital where he died a short time later. Holbert is also accused of robbing Strawn of an undetermined amount of cash. Holbert appeared before Assistant Chief Magistrate Shubusola Swain, where he was also charged with arson while being concerned with others. He reportedly set fire to Strawn's black 2014 Mercedes-Benz in Yellow Elder Gardens. The damage is estimated at $20,000. Holbert was not required to enter a plea and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. The matter will be fast-tracked to the Supreme Court. Holbert is expected to return to court on August 9th for a voluntary bill of indictment. For ZNS Network News, I'm DeAndre Williamson.
Fire officials spent several hours attempting to extinguish a raging blaze at the City Lounge Meat and Convenience Store, formerly Marietta's Hotel and Restaurant on Okra Hill today. Residents told ZNS News the building has been abandoned for many years and is home to vagrants and other criminal activity. LaDon Davis was on the scene moments after the fire started and has these details.
Around 1 p.m., Fire Services Chief Walter Evans received a call that billows of smoke and a large blaze was seen emanating from an abandoned building known as the City Lodge Meat and Convenience Store on Okra Hill. 3 fire trucks rushed to the scene attempting to extinguish the blaze, which proved challenging. Concerned residents we spoke to off camera say they are annoyed that it's not the first time their homes were threatened by fire.
People don't actually sleep and move. They live in the building. They do everything in the building. A lady was almost raped last year in that building because it affects not only the neighbors. We have a sick lady that is blind, that cannot get out of bed, God forbid. And one time, when they lit it, last year, it was like 3 a.m.
Chief Superintendent Evans on their investigations.
We met heavy smoke and flames coming from the top section of the roof of the northern section of the facility. Additional resources were called in to assist in suppressing this fire to ensure that the fire did not spread to affect any of the nearby residents, which are located on the northern end and on the southern end of where this fire is. At this stage, the fire is in the control phase.
Evans said it took hours to fully extinguish the blaze and believes the integrity of that abandoned building is compromised.
And what we can say to you is that this building has not been powered with electricity, which is an indication that the fire may have been caused by some other means. As you can see, the facility is unsecured, and it allows persons who do not have no fixed abode to move in and out freely. And at this point, we suspect that those persons may have been responsible.
Now, residents who wish to remain anonymous told ZNS News today that this is the 3rd time that a fire has occurred at this building. They are now calling on the relevant authorities to demolish the building to avoid future fires. In Okra Hill, LaDon Davis, ZNS Network News.
A 46-year-old man is dead following an industrial accident at a high-rise condominium complex on West Bay Street Thursday. Police say the victim, who was standing on a scaffold while working on the high-rise just after 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon, when it collapsed. A childhood friend identified him only as Ian. Police say paramedics were called to the scene but were unsuccessful in reviving the male, who was pronounced dead at the scene. Sean Bethel did not want to appear on camera but recalls his last interaction with the 46-year-old he says was also always a nice person.
At lunchtime, Ian came to see me. I gave him some money for some water, and after that, I didn't see him anymore until I heard he fell off the scaffold. Actually, I jumped over the wall, but the police told me I couldn't come in the area, various area, so I just left. You know, I feel bad because I brought him on this job, you know, and he brought other people to work on this job.
The University of the Bahamas hits another milestone with the largest class. Females dominated the class of 2018 by a landslide, as DeAndre Williamson tells us.
908 students graduating from the University of the Bahamas. This is the largest graduating class in the university's history.
My challenge to the class of 2018 is to identify where you want to make an impact. Identify where you see a need for improvement, for change, for transformation, and help to make it possible. And as you do so, do it with excellence as your guiding principle.
Out of the 908 graduates, 751 are females and 157 are males.
We will be conferring 687 bachelor's degrees, 122 associate degrees, 58 diplomas, and 41 certificates. These graduates originate from throughout the islands of the Bahamas and several with international origins.
During the commencement ceremony at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium on Thursday, commencement speaker Fred Popol, CEO of the Beck Group in Dallas, Texas, and 1993 UB graduate, reminded graduates of the importance of pursuing greatness.
Let us be in the constant pursuit of greatness by mastering the small things so we can achieve the big things. And always remember, you make your living by what you get. You make your life by what you give.
Some proud graduates say the road to graduation wasn't easy, but because of their pursuit for greatness, they made it.
Woo! That's how I feel. It is finally official. I am a graduate of the University of the Bahamas, and I am proud.
I feel like the university is a rigorous place, and it took blood, sweat, and tears to get to the city. I'm happy. I just can't explain it.
I am very honored and grateful to be here and to have finished my bachelor's degree.
I started COB in 2009. Along the way, I dropped out of school, got back in school, failed a few classes, got pushed back a year, another year, to bring me to this moment here.
It is finally done and it is over, and I'm thankful to God as well as my parents and everyone else who supported me.
For ZNS Network News, I'm DeAndre Williamson.
Well, congratulations, class of 2018. In other news, Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands says the 2017 Global AIDS Monitoring Report on the Bahamas doesn't tell a very good tale. According to the report, the age group 30 through 39 accounted for the largest age group of new diagnosis at 25%. Although new diagnoses have decreased among most demographic groups, the report continues that cases among the 15 through 24-year-old group increased by 38% between 2006 and 2015. The report was released today, detailing the factors which Dr. Sands says have taken away from the gains made in HIV and AIDS awareness and prevention.
It speaks to an ongoing challenge of persistent HIV infections among Bahamians. But most importantly, it really drills down into some of the behaviors that lead to a continued problem with HIV in the Bahamas. In particular, it speaks to the challenge of key populations being stigmatized so that they're afraid to come in and be treated. It speaks to the fact that even though some people start life-saving treatment for HIV, which is free, that as many as 50% of people stop taking it.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day.
Nature is taking center stage at the Lower Dedmanski Primary School, where today the students are planting a tree they received from BTC.
World Earth Day is celebrated all over the world on the 22nd of April, regardless to the day. This year is going to be on Sunday, but our school, we decided to celebrate on Friday because the children are here. BTC provided us with a wonderful sea grape tree that we're all going to have moments to come under the tree, get the shade, and also enjoy eating the fruits, us and the bees.
The thing we want to do is give awareness to the kids to show the importance of the environment and protecting it.
Just planting a tree gives us a fruit to eat and more healthy food, and it has seeds inside it so we could plant even more.
Farming can help you learn about plants' lives and the cycles that they go through. And farming can also help you because it gives you oxygen and gives you nutrients and food.
And so what an exciting day it has been for the students here at Lower Dedmanski Primary. They've taken the tree given to them by BTC and planted it into the ground. They will water it and watch it grow. And we'll be watching too. I'm Corvell Pyfrom, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
Every island and every key. Keep in touch with everybody. It's BTC every day. Every day.
First Care is an absolute game changer for thousands of Bahamians who do not have major medical insurance, and it also serves as a supplementary plan for those who may have high deductibles on their existing major medical. First Care is incredibly affordable, but for our Alive subscribers, you get an even deeper discount. Our Silver subscribers receive a 10% discount. Our Gold subscribers receive a 15% discount, and our Platinum subscribers receive a 20% discount. We're excited to be a part of Alive's Rewards program because this is a new and innovative way for us to reach our customers.
This is Get Me Ride. With our app, you easily sign up to ride and ride whenever you want. All of our drivers are certified taxi drivers. Add funds to your wallet and rate your drivers. Want to be a driver? Download Get Me Ride, the #1 transportation and taxi provider. Visit getmeride.org.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
Available at Jimmy's Liquor Store or your favorite restaurant or liquor stores throughout the Bahamas.
There are stamps for mailing, even rubber and ink stamps, but there's only one stamp that saves you money, and you only get them at Super Value and quality supermarkets. Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs 15-ounce can, $1.09. Whole chicken wings, $1.59 per pound. Rainbow corned beef, 12-ounce can, $1.89. Libby whole kernel corn or sliced beets, 15-ounce size, 99 cents. Sweet peaches, $1.99 per pound. Carolina Pride hams, 10-ounce size, $2.99. Quality stamps only at Super Value and quality supermarkets.
I'm Janine Bethel, and this is your Royal Fidelity Weekly Market Wrap. In market activity this week, BISEX saw a movement in 9 listed securities. A total of 164,785 shares were exchanged, up from last week's volume of 57,053 shares. There were 22 trades this week. Financial stocks made up the only 3 price advances. Commonwealth Bank Limited trading 134,056 shares, increasing 25 cents to a new price of $4.10 per share. Finco trading 1,250 shares to increase to $6.44 per share. And Bank of the Bahamas Limited trading 1,000 shares to close at $1.02 per share. Focal Holdings Limited was the only decliner, trading 1,000 shares to decrease 10 cents to a new price of $3.95 per share. Here's your wealth tip for the week. The real reason you're supposed to track your expenses is to create financial awareness. Watching the little things sets the tone for being careful about larger spending throughout the year. If you don't know how your money is spent, you won't know what habits to change. Tracking expenses will help you to identify bad spending traits and determine if priorities are being matched. It is easier to make changes when you realize that financial goals are not met because you eat out every evening or treat yourself to Starbucks 5 days per week. A $5 daily expense may not seem like a big deal, but it adds up to $1,825 by the end of the year. Remember, it's the little things that matter most. I'm Janine Bethel, and this has been your Royal Fidelity Weekly Market Wrap.
This week's Student of the Week is an all-around student who successfully mastered the art of balancing her academics with a perfect 4.0 average and getting her extracurricular activities in as well. The deputy head girl at St. John's College will embark on a career she started after becoming the National Teacher of the Year Cadet. LaDon Davis introduces us to Duranique Minus.
Help me to stay focused and, to manage my time and prioritize.
Eloquent, poised, driven, and determined are just some of the adjectives used to describe Deputy Head Girl of St. John's College, Duranique Minus, the straight-A student who is involved in every single extracurricular activity on the school's campus, has just a month to go before she makes that transition from high school to college life. She says staying focused was key in balancing her academics and extracurricular activities.
You really have to make a schedule sometimes, look at the most important things. So normally if I have any free time, I normally do my homework before I go to any clubs.
The National Teachers Cadet of the Year says she plans to pursue a career in education, food, and nutrition at the University of the Bahamas in the fall. She says the knowledge gained from that Teachers Cadet program will give her a jump start to her teaching career.
Our coordinator, of Teachers Cadet, she really allowed us being in the program to see how the teaching experience is. We had a lot of opportunities to work with students to get that one-on-one tutoring, and also we had a lot of experiences where we would have to make lesson plans and all that. So I fell in love with teaching because even before I went into the program, I taught at Elizabeth Estate Summer Camp. And I also taught swimming. So it was a lot of experience in just being in that program, having that foundation.
Duranique has followed in the footsteps of her brothers and older sister Duran, who was also a St. John's College graduate.
I was a prefect at St. John's, but she is the deputy head girl, and so that was beyond measure, that was excellent. I was so happy for her. I know in grade 6 she was the head girl, so for her to continue along that route, it just was a very, very special thing.
LaDon Davis with the Student of the Week.
Well, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Your news leader will be back right after this break.
If you own a portfolio of securities within a brokerage account, like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you can access a hassle-free loan, known as a margin loan, based on the value of that portfolio. Your investment portfolio is essentially used as collateral for a cash loan. And the benefits are numerous. Simple and straightforward application, quick turnaround, a more competitive interest rate, no requirement for monthly payments. Contact us for more information on margin loans.
Move forward, Bahamas, and build high into the sky. Move upward and colorize those new walls. Move onward and build a garden to last a lifetime. Move together and settle into that new home. There's a lot of places you can do it for yourself, but there's one place to do it right. Builders Mall. We know exactly what motto you live by, and even the pros know building is just a part of what we do. So move forward, Bahamas. And remember, you can find it all at Builders Mall.
Life happens, and when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today, or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
Well, it's time for your first check of weather, and as we check over with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean, we're hearing the name Alberto 10 days early, Basil.
Correct. The season has not opened yet, but we already have some activities. All the details coming up later in the newscast, so do stay tuned. Right now, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family Violence, and they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 79 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, 79 also in Grand Turkey, that's in Abaco. Marsh Harbor at 81 degrees. Here in the capital, 81 as well. Harbor Island, Eleuthera, 79. Roxanne, Eleuthera at 80. 80s also in Stanley Key in Exuma Chain, Kemp Space, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. 80s again in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rum Key, and Georgetown, Exuma. 80s all the way south into Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Maguana, Acklands, and Ragged Island. A little warmer in Matchetown at 82 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 80. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Pink Setter. In the northwestern islands, moderate breeze out of the southeast around 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights 3 to 5 feet over the open waters. Low tide 11-16 tonight. In the central and southeastern islands, caution flags are up. Southeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots, and the wave heights at 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Tomorrow, for all areas, the winds picking up 15 to 20 knots out of the southeast. Wave heights 4 to 6 feet. Low tide will take place at 11:25 in the morning. The high tide will occur at 5:45 in the afternoon. And then on Sunday, for all areas, once again, southeasterly flow at 15 to 20 knots. That should be 15 to 20 knots, by the way, and those wave heights will be bumped up 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Hence, caution flags continue for all areas of the Bahamas right through Sunday. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It is time now for your travel forecast, and your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. going to do it for your trial forecast brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is coming up in about 15 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Weight loss is a health priority for many Bahamians. When we are overweight, we are at a much higher risk of diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, certain cancers, and even mood disorders like depression and anxiety. If you add 30 minutes of brisk walking to your daily routine, you could burn about 150 more calories a day. To lose a pound a week, you generally need to eliminate 500 calories a day. Of course, the more you walk and the quicker your pace, the more calories you'll burn. To reap the most health benefits from your exercise intensity must generally be at a moderate or vigorous level. For weight loss, the more intense your exercise or the longer you exercise, the more calories you burn. However, balance is important. Overdoing it can increase your risk of soreness, injury, and burnout. If you're new to regular exercise and physical activity, you may need to start out at a light intensity and gradually build up to a moderate, vigorous intensity. Eating fewer calories through dietary changes seems to promote weight loss more effectively than even physical activity. Combining 30 minutes of walking with sensible eating habits can make a difference. Commit to losing weight through healthy eating and exercise and improve your health starting today. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
The performance speaks for itself. Pennzoil Synthetics, made from natural gas. Make the switch.
I worked hard to do well in high school.
Now that I am graduating,
What am I going to do next?
what am I going to do this summer?
I'm going to the University of the Bahamas Summer Bridging Program.
You don't need PGCSE results to sit the entrance exam.
Available for 16 to 24-year-olds residing in New Providence, Grand Bahama, and throughout the Family Islands.
Are you motivated to attend university?
The best part for me though, on successful completion of the Summer Bridging Program, you can be guaranteed direct entry into the University of the Bahamas.
Clean clothes for the family, uniforms for the baby, suit for mommy and daddy. We wash the suppressors to clean the super. If you wanna look fly and you wanna look clean, if you wanna look fresh, better than all the rest. Bring on your church clothes and all your work clothes. Bring on your children clothes. Super wash.
What's a smart way to refresh your home this season? Get inspired by Carpet and Cabinet World. See how easy it is to transform your living room and kitchen with our wide variety of flooring and cabinet options. We offer top quality in the latest styles in ceramic, porcelain, and wood. Did you know we're also fully stocked with state-of-the-art forward horizontal blinds? Stop by Cabinet World to explore the exciting possibilities with our customized cabinetry to suit your budget, style, and taste. Carpet and Cabinet World. We make it happen. Get your free quote today.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Pro boxing returns to the Bahamas tomorrow night. Charles Fisher is in the nation's second city, and he's standing by with the headliner.
Good evening, Johnny, and good evening, Bahamas. We are here at Pelican Bay, a day before the Backyard Rumble with the heavyweight champion, Sherman the Tank Williams. And Sherman, one more day to go before the big fight. How are things looking?
Yeah, everything looking good. For me personally, I'm relaxed. I enjoyed the weekend Freeport. Got a morning swim every morning at Silver Point. And yeah, I'm feeling relaxed. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to give Mendoza the count punch to take back to Colombia.
What much can you tell us about your opponent?
Well, he's a very durable fighter. He was a former light heavyweight champion, cruiserweight champion. He fought Luis Ortiz, who just lost for the heavyweight title against Deontay Wilder. You know, he's a pretty durable guy. He's been Fede Caribbean champion. He's been WBC Latino champion. He's 6'2", and he likes to use his jab and move around the ring. So, you know, for me, it's just going to be getting on the inside, closing the distance, and go to work. Take the body and try to catch him with the conk punch.
Any butterflies? I know you've fought all over the world, but fighting back here in Grand Bahama, any butterflies yet?
No, ain't no butterflies at all. I mean, you know, with every fight, you get some, you know, anxious anticipation. So right now, I actually wish it was Saturday so we could just get this over with. You know, I feel a little antsy. You know, I'm throwing a little bit of punches in the room. Maid came to make up the bed, and she asked if it was safe. You know, I'm ready to go. You know, before every fight, you get a little bit of jitters, but that's normal with competitive sports. You know, I'm kind of anxious, so it's a little bit harder now to relax because my mind is going. I already played this fight over in my head, and believe me, it's not going to go to 10 rounds. You know, my visual perspective is taking him in 2 or 3, going to the body and catching him with the over and right.
So there you have it, Johnny. Sherman the Tank Williams ready to rumble Saturday night here in Grand Bahama.
2 more champions crowned yesterday in the private school volleyball season. For more on that, here's Amajal Knowles.
Well, the BAISS crowned 2 new champions yesterday in junior girls and boys volleyball, and let's just say it was a red affair. Over on the girls' side, the St. Augustine's Big Red Machine took care of the Queens College Comets in their first game in 3 sets, winning 17-8 and 15-8, before handling St. Andrews in the championship game in 2 sets, winning both 17-12. Winning players Keandra Meadows and Antonisha Moultrie.
It's all about practicing. What we've done out here is nothing as much as we've done out at practice, running, jumping, all of our practice routines. It's nothing out here. It was a little bit easy, even though we're getting tired. Our team on the bench, they hyping us up.
What we practice is what we bring here, and what we practice was good, so we brought it.
Over on the boys' side, SAC again coming up with the championship win in the first game, defeating St. Andrews in 3 sets, winning 17-12 and 17-14, and taking care of QC in the final game, winning 25-8 and 25-20. Taraj Hudson on the team's win.
The final set, well, it started off a little rocky for us. It was a close set at first until we had a good service, about 9 points. We got us a lead, and we kept the lead from there.
Now, as for SAC taking home both trophies, Hudson says this proves that SAC is still an athletic powerhouse.
You know, it's good to know that, you know, SAC is still dominant in sports and that we still could carry on victory.
For the girls, in what is their second win in as many years, according to them, they plan to make it a 3-peat next year. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Amajal Knowles.
The Bahamas Bowling Federation's Nationals underway at Mario's after 2 blocks. David Slatter leading the way on the men's side.
Well, I'm having a good night tonight. I mean, the first night was average, not as good as I'd like. Tonight I'm averaging around 230, which is a lot better. Looking to be the first 3-time repeat champion, so got a lot on the line. Lee Davis and I have been going at it since 1989. So I've got 5, he's got 4. so I want to make it 6 to his 4. I don't want him to catch me up. So Lee would be probably the main competition. Sonny Lockhart as well. Richie Pyfram has also done well, has won the Nationals a couple of years ago, beat me I think 3 years ago. So yeah, it's a lot of good competition.
While Slater had to come from behind to gain the lead for the man, the leader on the ladies' side remains the same as Driscoll Roll is still on top. The Nationals continue until next Sunday, June the 3rd. Competition at the Americas Group 3 Davis Cup tie gets underway on Monday in Costa Rica. The Bahamas will be among 9 countries taking part, and they need a top 2 finish to advance to Group 2 in 2019. With Baker Newman just finishing college, Philip Major and Jody Turnquist on the circuit, and player captain Marvin Roll residing here at home, this weekend will be the first time the team comes together, and Roll spoke about their first order of business.
For sure, get used to the altitude, because it's going to be like 3,000 feet. But it's not that severe, because Bolivia was much higher. But yeah, just get there, get used to the courts, get used to the balls. I know probably Baker and PJ will be playing the singles, and probably me and Jody will be playing the doubles, but that could change when we get there. PJ, Jody, and Baker, they prefer the hard court, so that will help us throughout the whole tie.
The original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium busy with activity this week after hosting the Frank Pancharaming National Primary School Track and Field Championships the past 3 days. It's all about Special Olympics come tomorrow.
The program's pretty vibrant down in Eleuthera. We have 2 or 3, good athletes actually. So we're hoping for good things. We just did bocce in Eleuthera recently. We had, including ourselves, we have 5 islands there: Abaco, Grand Bahama, Exuma, and New Providence. And that was a great weekend. It was a wonderful weekend. And then we come in, obviously this weekend is track and field. So it's mostly sprinters or the short races, But we have a boy, Kevin, we're hoping for big things from.
The 2018 WNBA season is underway, and the Connecticut Sun 2-0 following a 102-94 win last night over the LA Sparks. Jonquel Jones coming off the bench. She went 7 of 9 from the field, 2 of 2 from behind the arc, and a perfect 1 of 1 at the line. She had 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in just under 24 minutes on court. Jones and the Sun returning to the floor again tomorrow night against the Indiana Fever. For sports, stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Whether you want to get going in a new car, to relax at home while you pay bills on your mobile banking app, to get the best rewards with your credit card, or to get a sure start on your little one's future. Whether you want a quick response on your loan, or just a range of services that keep your business running smoothly, you want banking that fits your life. CIBC First Caribbean, banking that fits your life.
Bounty and Charmin will have you winning and grinning.
Yes!
Buy these products and enter to win these prizes.
Nice!
Win and grin with Bounty and Charmin today.
Welcome, madam, to the Royal Blue Tavern. My name is Leslie, and I will be taking exceptional care of you. Service has been a part of my life for a very long time. I get a sense of satisfaction knowing that my guests came, experienced Bahamian cuisine, fine service, just the shared joy that they get from my service is enough satisfaction for me.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, we'll take a look at our satellite picture, and we have Tropical Storm Alberto formed in the northwestern Caribbean Sea early this afternoon at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The center of circulation was located at 19.4 degrees north, longitude 86.3 west. That puts it about 195 miles to the south-southwest of the tip of Cuba, the western tip of Cuba. The motion right now is towards the east at about 2 miles per hour, but we expect that to change, taking on a more northerly track within the next 24 to 36 hours, and that should take it into the Gulf of Mexico sometime tomorrow. As we go to our track, you can see that moving all the way towards the north, then shifting northwest by Sunday, heading into those Gulf states. But the broad area of cloudiness associated with this system will increase the rainfall probability over the northwest Bahamas, in particularly over the island of Andros, Bimini, and West Grand Bahama. Those will be the islands that will perhaps get the bulk of the rain. 1 or 2 feet of band could possibly reach the capital, giving us occasional showers and thunderstorms on Saturday and Sunday. Tonight, mostly cloudy and breezy with a 40% chance of a late shower. 76 degrees will be your low temperature. And tomorrow, we're going in for mostly cloudy conditions once again with a couple of showers, even an isolated thunderstorm developing in the morning and also in the afternoon. Again, 83 degrees for your high temperature. The extended weather forecast keeping you somewhat wet off and on into Monday, drying out quite nicely on Tuesday, and it looks as though next week is going to be a beautiful week in terms of cloud cover, with lots of sunshine, and get all of this wet stuff that we've been experiencing for the past several days out of the way.
Finally. Thanks, Basil. Well, that does it for us in the Bahamas tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, thanks so much for looking in. Have a good night and a great weekend.
You're watching the ZNS Network,